Entitled English voice actors just got destroyed by Hirohei.
So I got sent a very funny situation regarding voice actors that I completely missed happening the other day. So thank you very much for sending me this situation. That, of course, being to the person that sent this to me. But anyways, so this involves the creator of Ben Drowned. If you're familiar with Ben Drowned, I'm actually not until today looking into it, but it seems like something I'm definitely gonna look into more because it's like a creepypasta web serial thing. And I think there's also like video.
Yeah, wasn't that like it's just a creepypasta, right?
On it. It sounds pretty cool, pretty interesting. And like I said, I will definitely look into this more.
I remember that. It's it's a video game creepypasta about like a spooky situation that like occurred in a game. Yeah. It's like a classic creepypasta about Majora's Mask. Yeah.
But enough about me. We need to talk about the creator of Ben Drowned, that being Alexander Hall, because it looks like certain English voice actors, you know the type, are upset with Alex Hall based on his most recent casting call that he posted over on Twitter. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're over here on Twitter now, and we can see the tweet from Alexander Hall that reads, casting call. Looking for 3 to 4 voice actors to play townspeople in an upcoming episode of a new series. 4 to 5 lines per role. Remote clean audio.
Wait, 4 to 5 lines per role. Remote clean audio, okay.
$15 USD per role. Deadline April 15th. Audition plus details at that forum.
This is for like extras, basically. Like you're just kind of like in the background.
Now, unfortunately, the forum is no longer available, so I can't see everything that was on there for more details, but we can get a few more details by taking a look at what still remains right here, which reads at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your interest. We're looking for up to 4 voice actors to bring to life brief roles as background NPCs. So, important details. Only 4 to 5 lines per role for background NPCs, and looking for 4 voice actors. Now, since this form is no longer available, I can presume that this has all been casted for. That takes us to a tweet from Pirate Nation with this screenshot where we can see the meltdown. And I know I'm blocking some of this, I'll like move it around and all that. So hopefully it works out.
Okay.
But we'll see if it works out in a second. Guy who made Ben Drowned is working on a new series of YouTube videos. Puts out an open advert for anyone who wants to voice some of the background NPCs in it. Paying $15 for 4 to 5 generic NPC lines. Insane meltdown from voice actor Twitter. Demanding $100 an hour for saying lines like, "It sure is foggy today." Incredible rage in the replies.
Wait, what?
Okay, so now we'll take a look at some of these angry people. We're starting with the ones in the top left. Reads, $15 per roll. Laughing emoji. $15?
I'll do that shit for free. The hell?
F off. Talk about cheap. Call your mom or your pals and offer $15. Alex Hall actually responds to that one and says, why not someone who's an aspiring VO to add to their portfolio? I know people that would volunteer to do it, but I thought since I'm in a position to offer something for a fun YouTube video, it would be a nice gesture. I guess I'm having a hard time understanding since it is a very, and we can't see the rest of it from that other person responding to Alex now, some $15 job isn't going to be looked at by Hollywood for voice. What the frick? Sorry, I'm like already interrupt, but why is this guy bringing Hollywood up? It's like some indie like job on the internet where it was like,
yeah, I mean, it's great when you're first starting out. It'd be a great like portfolio entry. Yeah. That's great. Like 15 for like just 4 to 5 lines. Like you just record it at home and then send it to them. Just like you have a clean mic and you have a clean audio. Like you just clean up the audio a little bit and send it in. Like you can do that in literally 5 minutes. Like quite easily. Yeah. I know because I've done it before.
It's not going to be looked at by Hollywood for voiceover. No one was like asking for some Hollywood weirdos anyways. What the frick?
Yeah, this is a great like entry level thing to be like, yeah, I worked on voice acting before. So like when you apply for another job, you can say, I did this short role with this game. And like this is like a unannounced game project. Like I was like townsfolk #1 and here are my lines. And you could like do that basically. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like nobody really cares about the price. It's like what kind of experience did you have, right?
I actually found that tweet itself, and there wasn't much more to Alex's tweet. The only thing that got cut off, I think, was small role. So he's like,
not every job is meant for AAA voice acting. Yeah, especially like indie projects, right? Like indie projects is like a lot of times indie projects don't have a lot, and honestly, like for something that's $15, like even that $15. I mean, for just background noises, I mean, he could be just using AI, honestly, save a lot of money. But, you know, he's offering to pay $15 like per shot, like for only like 4 to 5 lines. Like, and you don't even have to like record it in the studio. Like you literally just record it on your computer in Audacity and send it over. Yeah.
Once again, the other person's like, some $15 job isn't going to be looked at by Hollywood for voiceover. No offense, this is a contract job.
People want $100 a line and they wonder why people use AI. Yeah, that's a lot. The problem is you have to understand that that he deems the value to be $15. He's like, the value of this thing to me is $15. And then if people don't like it, then they just don't do it. But if people will do it, which I assume that they did because it got taken down already, right? The actual post, not the post, the form, not the post got taken down, but the form is not there anymore, which I assume means that they've filled all the roles, which means that people did do it for that price. So there you go.
Needs 4 lines read. Call your sister. $15 is an insult. I'm not sure if it's remote or not. You're not sure if it's remote. You think this dude...
It literally says in the thing that it's remote.
Is going to need to fly someone out to location for a $15 job for 4 to 5 lines for a background character. Yeah, these people are absolutely nuts. Like,
so let me tell you like what's involved here. So first off, you need a good mic. If you want to do voice acting in the first place, you already need like a pretty decent mic. I don't mean like a high end like super crazy mic, but you need one that's not like a plug-in, like, you know, a plug-in like Xbox game set like microphone. Like you need like an actual microphone, right? So you need that first. Sure, that's kind of expensive, but like if you want to get, you know, it's the same thing as like if a mechanic, if you want to get into like you know, fixing cars, you have to buy a bunch of tools. It's the same thing, right? So you get that, and then you go into a program called Audacity, which is free. All right, you route your audio, you click record, you do the thing, you know, you do the clean audio, you make everyone shut up in your house, you record, you do the lines, and then you run, you just run like a normalize and then a noise and then a background noise reduction on it. That's it. Then you just send that. Yeah. Like I do that literally right now. I've done it on stream actually before because I was doing a voice. I was recording lines for a character for a video game, and yeah, and I did those live. I wasn't very good at it, but I mean, it was, you know, I did it on stream. I asked if I could record them on stream, and they said, yeah, no problem. So I recorded all the lines on stream. Just
speechless. I don't even know what to say. This guy's like, I'm not sure if it's remote or not, but that wouldn't even cover the gas money to get there. No way this guy's serious, bro. Is this guy for real? Is this a troll or something? Like, I think this guy's for real, but like, that is just so insane. He thinks he needs to drive. Hey, I got to drive across the country for this role, man. Like, oh my gosh. There's also this response from Alex, and we can see more details. So this person's like, $15 an hour? How many hours are we talking? TF, lol. Alex says, oh, absolutely not. I was thinking it would take about 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's actually right. It would have taken about 5 minutes.
These are short throwaway lines for generic townspeople. I'm just looking for the right voice. Another response to the top reading. Are you freaking kidding me? $15? And once again, we got laughing emojis. Alex responds and says, this is my first time putting out a public casting call for one of these. It's a maximum of 5 quick lines for a small indie production. What would you say is fair? Ooh, let's see what people say. DM to explain? That's not...
Wait, $100 a minute?
That's not suspicious at all. $100 minimum. $100 to like...
What the fuck? Bro, what?
Like 5 minutes of reading. That's crazy. Let's see the responses to this. LMAO, you aren't that famous. That's a fair price. Show more. You're out of your mind. Your voice is not a precious resource that's worth gold, dude. Lol, you worth less than a McDonald's burger. That's a new one. Okay, so now we got this exchange. This person says, people can make $19 an hour at Five Guys. Might want to rethink that rate. But that doesn't even make sense. That argument doesn't even make sense, right? If this is going to be like a 5-minute job for $15.
It doesn't, yeah.
That greatly beats $19 for
Yes? Okay.
an hour. Alex says, for 5 lines for a background character, what would you say is fair? The other person responds and says, a lot of voiceover rates are based on a per word basis. For 4 to 5 lines, $15 is probably reasonable. But my comment wasn't made based on what is/isn't fair. It's about entry-level jobs being available at higher rates. $15 is low when you look at it from that perspective.
When you are an entry level voice actor that hasn't worked in the industry. Okay, let's be real. This role is not for people that are already well established. This isn't going out to like famous voice actors who have been in other things. This is going out to an entry level person, right? So yeah, it is worth the same. What do you mean? Even if it was per hour, it would be the same, obviously. Why do you think that your entry level voice acting is worth more than a person that is making food at the Five Guys? That seems a little fucked up to me. To be like, well, the Five Guys people, their work is worth less than mine. Well, who determines that?
What the frick? That made like no sense at all. Wait, so they admit that the rate is actually pretty good. $15 for 4 to 5 lines is pretty good, they say. but then they go and like completely change the argument and make like a bad point. Like, I'm so confused. These people make no sense.
It's hilarious is that the original offer is essentially $180 an hour, but you aren't working the whole hour. Yes. It's actually incredibly fair.
Like, oh, this wouldn't fly in Hollywood or whatever that person said. And it's like thinking you need to be like flown out for this. And then whatever this person's saying, like, these people all sound crazy to me. Like,
I think even if it was, what I'm saying is even if it was that price per hour, I think that's fair, honestly.
Having a hard time even providing commentary on this stuff because I don't even really understand what these people are saying. It's just like Looney Tunes talk. Look at this one. Someone else says, and by the way, Sweeney Todd's pretty cool, so shameful that this person is using Sweeney Todd, but whatever. It will likely require more than 5 minutes, as there's always the possibility of having to do multiple takes. $15 is not worth anyone's time. That's $3 lower than the hourly rated.
I could get Popeyes for $15 for only 5 minutes of work. Seems like a deal to me, honestly.
My state.
That's a freaking 5-piece meal for 2 people with 2 sides and a drink.
Honestly, I personally think it should be at least $200.
I could split that with my mom.
This person responds saying $15 for a 5 minutes job means it's $180 an hour. Minimum wage in the USA is $7.25 per hour, but the other person never responds to that one. Okay, and then we got some more context with this response from Alex. I don't think I read this one yet. If I did, my bad. But he says, your motivation is that you are just an ordinary and generic background NPC. It's not really meant to be a super nuanced part, just a little fun throwaway to give flavor.
Yep.
There's plenty of upset people. Those were just some examples of some of them, of course, but there are plenty more that we haven't read.
So what's the result of this is like this guy is like never going to do this again. He's like, yeah, I'll give people a chance to be the background, like for the background, like character, like fuck that. It's not worth the fucking headache. It's not worth it. Just gonna have no voices next time.
Now onto something wholesome though, because people would see the backlash and then rally to Alexander Hall. For example, at the top, you can see Wendigoon, you may know him from YouTube, saying, I would be honored to do it for free.
Yep.
And Alexander Hall's just like wide-eyed. You got Madam Savvy, the one and only, saying, you're a legend. Well, check out the forum tomorrow with a heart. And lots of other comments, such as, hey, if you're still needing a VO for the role,
I'd do it for $15
to help out, and future projects. The clowns in the comment section are a bunch of entitled theater kids. If I had the ability, for the record, let me just clarify something. I do like Sweeney Todd, but every theater kid I met at school gave me such a bad impression. They were always like so obnoxious. Anyways, back at that person, they said if they had the ability to make a clean audio recording that they would do the job for free. And a lot of people shared similar sentiment. Once they saw the backlash, they were like, yo, forget these weirdos. I'll just do the job for free. And so Alex Hall eventually made this statement that says, thank you to everyone who has submitted so far. We've received nearly 100 submissions between the forum and DMs. This is episode 1 of an indie YouTube series with a limited budget and my first real step back into the creative world after half a decade. This new series is something new, but in many ways it's a spiritual successor to Ben Drowned. And I think the fans, especially those who love classic gaming, will really enjoy it. This lead role for this episode is being cast at her requested rate. That was decided months ago when I reached out to her privately. This casting call was meant to give fans and emerging creators a chance to join in and still receive compensation, as a way for our team to build long-term connections with people excited to work on indie storytelling, even if they don't have a ton of professional VO experience. There's always tons of undiscovered talent out there. Even if you aren't selected this time, don't fret. This is a very particular kind of NPC tone I'm looking for, and it's a very small role. But I can already tell I'll be reaching out to at least over half a dozen people in the future based on the talent I've seen so far. And I've only reviewed about 20 submissions. I've had great collaborations with professional AAA voice talent over the years, and I'm committed to compensating fairly as much as the project allows. Indie productions always come with a few caveats and compromises, especially when you're dusting off the cobwebs and getting the ball rolling out again.
Yeah, you don't have the connections or the money, the funding when you're indie.
Really appreciate the support over the last 48 hours, and I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who's approached this with enthusiasm and good faith. You guys are awesome. Also, submissions are still open until the 15th, but of course, as of recording, it is now April 16th, so I guess that explains why the thing was closed when I took a look at it.
Yep.
Presumably, he's also filled the roles, of course, too, but yeah. You can also see people responding to Alex, welcoming him back and being excited to see his new work, excited to have him return. And I'll leave you guys with this. Something I was looking into over on Blue Sky. I don't have a Blue Sky account, but I do look over there for content every now and then because, let's be real, it's a great place for content. But anyways, the point is, I saw a number of voice actors over on Blue Sky complaining about the amount of money they make and how they deserve so much more money. And I think that would have been really fitting to include in this video, but I would also be bearing the lead a little bit if I did. So it might be funny to include that some other time. It's also related to the Genshin VAs. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do all that stuff, but definitely kind of similar to what we saw here. Yeah, that'll be the end of this one. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed the coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. All the best to Alex with his new project. And as always, thank you for tuning in. See you in the comments.
The problem is, so let me explain something. Okay. A little bit of insight. Voice acting is kind of it's considered a premium job, like a kind of luxury job. Because it's in like a kind of entertainment, like luxury industry, right? And the thing is the amount of people that want to do it are significantly higher than the amount of jobs, right? And because of that, it's the same thing with streaming. Actually, streaming is the exact same way. So there's a ton of people that want to do it. So what happens is a lot of the times you end up doing a lot of work for barely anything, or you end up doing a lot of work basically for free until you can basically build yourself up to actually being like a player in the space, and then you can start making money. And all of these kind of luxury jobs are like that, to be honest. Similar with musicians. Yeah, musicians are the same. Yeah. Kyril says like me right now. Yeah. And it's rough. And it's the same thing with YouTube, right? Like when you're making YouTube videos, you're not making anything. Like, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like we're starting up, you guys know Rumble. We're starting up on Rumble, right? And we've been posting on Rumble and we haven't made anything. And then all of a sudden yesterday, I saw on my Rumble account that I made 4 cents. I made 4 cents and I messaged Julio. I said, Julio, oh my God. And Julio's like, what? And I'm like, we did it. We fucking did it, bro. And then Julio's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, look at Rumble. And like he looks, we made 4 cents. Let's go. We were all like so fucking happy. We were like, yeah, we fucking did it. Right? And it's like, show them the DM. Okay, fine. I will. I'll show you the DM so you can see that I'm not making this up. Literally leaking the DMs right now. Right here. Julio. Oh my God. Julio, what? Rumble earnings 0.04 cents and then just cheer. Yo! Right? It's like this. It's really like this. Like when you're starting off, it really is like that. Same thing with YouTube, right? And it's just kind of it's kind of the nature of being in an industry that's high demand. I mean, not high demand, low demand, high supply, right? Because a lot of everybody, people want to be YouTubers, people want to be streamers, people want to be voice actors, people want to be actors, people want to be like, all musicians, everything, right? It's very saturated market because it's considered like a luxury, like it's considered a pretty posh job. So a lot of people want to do it, right? And when you're working in a space like that, that's just how it is. They already have their established players. It's really hard to break into it. You're going to end up working for nothing for a long time, like I did. Everybody ends up working for nothing for a while when they want to do that, right? I mean, that's just reality, right? Like, does it suck that you have to work for free a lot of the time and try to like build yourself up? It does suck. It feels bad. I mean, that's where they got the term like starving artists from, right? Basically, it's just like the same sort of, in fact, a lot of like those kind of like those artists we would consider the greats nowadays, a lot of them like actually didn't have anything. They didn't even become popular until they died. But I mean, that's the life that you choose, right? You don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be a voice actor. You can do something else. If what you're concerned with is like the amount of money that you make and that it's a lot more stable. If what you care about is having like more straight up money and not taking like a low amount for like a while until like you're able to build yourself up, there's other jobs you can do for that, to be honest. I mean, I'll give you another example of kind of the same thing. And there's another thing actually that's also the same. And that's indie company culture. A lot of the times you're making barely any money. And a lot of times you're making negative money, actually. A lot of things that you do, like advertising, hiring people, you're making negative money off of a project, hoping that one day you'll make it. And so you're basically just working hard every day, hoping that eventually things will turn around and it'll all have been worth it in the end. And you have no way of knowing that. And that's why business people get paid a lot, by the way. Business people get paid a lot because they're taking the risk that potentially in the future, they'll make up money that they didn't have before. They'll make up for all of the money that they lost. Not only the money that they lost, but just working so much for nothing for such a long time. It reminds me of No Man's Sky. I'll give you a personal example. So I was working at this studio, this game studio, this indie gaming studio. It's a completely indie gaming studio. I was working with them, and this was before anything. So this was before when they had gotten like their first round of investment, and they were working. I wasn't working at a negative, like I was getting paid. I was getting paid like whatever. But like the thing is my pay structure was like, listen, we don't have that much money right now. We'll pay you like as much as we can to what's fair, but we will give you like a percentage of the company. Right? Here's a percentage of the company, like, with stocks. That's what stock options. So like if you work for a new startup, they usually pay less than like a big company does. But they're also more willing to give people chances that like haven't worked in the industry before. Right? So, I'm not saying they didn't pay me fairly. They did pay me fairly. They paid me like a good amount, like it wasn't like a lot, but it was like, yeah, this is good. Right? They paid me that. And then they were like, we don't have much right now, but like, here's some stocks. And if the company does well, you also do well, right? Where's my ass company percent? Julio, you are one of the only people that actually gets more money the better that we do. Shut the fuck up, Julio. Anyway, so basically, yeah, like here's some stocks and here's an amount of money, right? And, everyone's working at this company. It's a small company, small game. We're like, man, is our game going to do well? We're like so worried. Oh man, guys, like here comes a competitor. New game comes out. Oh, it's kind of like our game. Oh shit. Are we gonna be able to do it, guys? Like man. And everyone's worried all the time. Everyone's stressing. Like, man, is this game gonna like kill our game? And then we're all gonna lose our jobs. You power through. You keep going. And I remember, when the game came out, so the game launched, and we were all sitting around in a meeting room. There's a meeting room, and we're sitting there. There's a TV on the wall, and we're looking at it. And one of the guys had hooked up a laptop to the TV, and all you see is like a kind of command screen, and you just see like lines of text. And every now and then you'll see like $20, $50, and we were like, and I remember we made $100. The first $100 that we made, we fucking cheered. We got up. Everyone was cheering. Guys, we fucking did it. We made $100. Yeah, let's go. And we were like so fucking excited, right? And the game grew. We fought other rivals. Other games came out within our space, and we had to beat them too. And we were always worried, like, oh man, this is the game that's going to kill us. This is the game that's going to kill us. Over and over and over again, going through that constantly. And when they asked me, they said, hey, this other company is like willing to like buy some of our company, so we can give you more money now. Do you want some more money? And I said, no, give me more. I want more percentage of the company. I don't want more money. I want more. Give me more percentage of the company. And this, this continued and became the biggest game in the world. That game was League of Legends. And crazy. And it's like I said, a lot of those people that were working there, a lot of like the higher up people were all working there on the hope and the dream that the game would do well and beat all of its rivals and be able to like become one of the biggest games. And all they had was that dream and that hope, taking a lot less money than they're worth. Obviously not me. I was kind of low level. They gave me a chance because they were a small company, so they gave me a chance. A chance that I probably wouldn't have had with like a bigger company, right? Who's going to hire somebody who only works on tabletop game designs? Right? Who's gonna hire that person when you could hire somebody with more experience? They took a chance with me, right? And basically what I'm saying is you can take a safe job, and a safe job is gonna be one that pays you right away, and that you're gonna get paid. And that's like the big thing about like working at like a place that's like a lot more stable. One that is kind of, it's just a job that you go in, that you have it, and then, whatever, if they fire you or the job closes down, you can find another job quite easily within that space. Right. But when you're working at like kind of these developing companies and like these, or you're developing because in the world of voice acting, you are your own developing company, right? Because what you're selling is yourself. Like you're selling your talent. Like your voice is that's the product, right? When the product is something that's not really a necessity, you kind of have to be prepared to tough out the storm. What I'm saying is, for the dream, sometimes you have to be prepared to weather the storm with nothing, right? You have to take the risk, and you have to do that. And that's what it takes to like actually do something like that. So when they offer you $15 and that could be your big break, you fucking take it. You don't let your pride get in the way, right? That's what I'm saying. And if that's too much for you, like, you might be in the wrong industry. That's what I think. You might not be cut out for it, to be honest. And I'm not saying everyone is, because it is hard. You might just fail. There's no guarantees, right? The only thing that can guarantee it is enough tries, basically. I know a guy who's been streaming for like 10 years. He's been streaming to like 4 people for 10 years. Man. Anyway, there's this prevailing like feeling, what's the word? Prevailing thought in society right now. And you hear this from a lot of people where like, oh, CEOs are just leeches and all they do is all CEOs and like company presidents are fucking leeches, and all they do is siphon from the workers who are the ones who produce everything. You have to understand that the CEOs were the ones taking the risks, and they were the ones working until 4 a.m. worrying about if a deal was going to fall through or not. That was the CEO doing that. When everybody went home and everybody was sleeping in their beds, the CEO was at their desk at work, stressed out that possibly if this deal falls through, the company's toast. And everybody that works for them is also toast. And like, you care about those people too, right? And of course there's bad CEOs who don't care about anybody and they only care about greed. Of course that exists. But there was a time when I was going to quit streaming. Recently, actually, very recently. I got to the point where I told my mom, I was like, I think I don't want to do it anymore. And she told me, like, you have a lot of people relying on you. And it's like, I think about that all the time. Where if I fuck up like so bad that it's unrecoverable, I just costed like a bunch of people their jobs, And that shit weighs on you. I think all of the people that say like, oh, people who own companies and CEOs are just leeching from everyone else, I don't think they've never done it themselves, And that's why they end up making the most money, because they're the ones who put up with, they're the ones who deal with not getting paid as much and stuff. They deal with the possibility of not getting paid. You work overtime all the time. You don't get anything from it, right? No pressure. Yeah. There's always pressure because you care about at least I do. You care about the people that you work with, and you don't want them to, you don't want to have to say like, hey man, I can't pay you next month. Sorry. You're going to have to find another job because I can't pay you anymore. Right? Like that fucking sucks, especially when they're like your friends or like they've been there for you. Like you don't want to say that, Be right back, I smell gas. What the fuck? Take care, Devon. Like, sorry, I know it's kind of a tangent to what the video was about, but it's kind of related because when you're going into like a luxury business, voice acting, anything that deals with like a non-necessity, right? Like food, everyone always needs food, but people don't need necessarily a stream, or they can find another stream, right? So it's like when you're working in that industry, you kind of have to understand that sometimes you got to take the 15 because the 15 is what's going to get you to the next day, and that's going to give you the experience that you need to get the 30. Then maybe you get the 30 one day, and then you get the 50, and then soon you're on and on and on, right? Like until you finally build yourself up, right? It's like I said, I made the 4 cents on Rumble. Maybe tomorrow I make 8 cents, right? Maybe next week it's 15 cents. And it was just the same thing with YouTube too. YouTube was the same. It's like originally it's like, oh, we made like $5. Like, oh, cool. We made $5 this month. That's cool. I put the ads on Twitch at minimum. I fucking went and I slid them all the way down to minimum, because before they would be like, oh, like put it at this thing because this is optimal and we're gonna give you the most amount of money for the most amount of ads. And then I looked at my ad revenue and I was like, yo, fuck you guys. And I put it all the way down. I put it all the way down to like, okay, this one doesn't, like this amount doesn't have pre-rolls. Okay, it's there. Boom. I just don't want pre-rolls. I don't care about the ad money anymore.